What is up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of the Two Game Podcast. I am Matt Primo, joined by a plethora of people. We have Dan Tate.
What's up?
We got the Costas, Brian and Kori.
Hello.
And then my brother from another mother, Christian Valencia.
Just feel like I snorted something.
Cocaine?
Well, there it is. And we're off.
Sharing is caring.
Ooh, that's weird.
You got some white stuff on your nose.
Don't worry about what I have here, sir.
Well, guys, this is episode number 118. I promised it last week. I said we weren't going to talk about it. It was rather difficult. But on this episode, this week, we are going to be talking about anything and everything in regards to Diablo 4. It just came out last week. Super excited to finally talk about it. And also got some shit I need to show off as well that I got for pre-orders and whatnot.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, it made me it made me erect.
Oh, is that where everybody in Covington was pregnant?
Yes.
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 Exactly.
He sent a thing and he's like, everybody in Covington is pregnant because I just got a whole bunch of goodies. He's like, men included. Everyone's
Men
pregnant.
Wow. Wow.
But yes, super excited to do that. Before we jump into Diablo 4, we're going to run through our playlist just rather quickly. I know y'all are ready to hear our thoughts on Diablo 4. One little tidbit of information, though. Last week, unbeknownst to me and Christian, we started talking about Starfield and Xbox. Had no clue that there was going to be a showcase where they showed off like an hour-long shit of Starfield. We are not going to be talking about Starfield on this episode. We will talk about that next week on next week's episode. So pushing everything back week after week. But let's go ahead and jump into our playlist. What have y'all been watching?
So I've been watching a show called From. It's on Amazon Prime. And it's basically these people get stuck in a town and booga boogas come out at night and eat their insides.
That sounds like a Saturday night.
And for a more sunny disposition, I've been watching Rick and Morty.
Rick and Morty.
Me and the wife have been rewatching a series called Once Upon a Time.
Oh, I love Once Upon a Time.
Was that the one on NBC like years ago?
I think so, or ABC, one of them. It's all the fairy tales in a little town. It's wonderful.
Right.
It's such a guilty pleasure.
We've been watching that again.
We've been watching Supernatural again.
Well, so we watched it all the way through once before, and then my wife got bored again. So she's like, that's the only time I watch TV is when she is. So I've been sitting there watching it with her.
Yeah.
Supernatural. I need to finish like the last 2 seasons, but that show, look, it's the same shit every single week, but it's good shit every single week.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
I will stand
Any
by
reason for her to see Jensen Ackles is always a plus.
And Jared Padalecki and Misha Collins. I'm for J squared and throw a little M in there too. I'm good.
Jensen's wife is in there. I'm just saying.
She is, and so is Fake Ruby is Jared's wife. So all in the family.
That's true. That's very true.
Yeah.
That's so Mississippi.
That's so Mississippi. Brayson, what have you been watching? TikTok. Big Mouth. Brayson's been watching Big. Come over here, kid.
That's funny. I enjoy that.
Wish y'all could see him get off this floor to come over here. Okay.
That sounds like a struggle.
It is. Over here, son. They're not gonna see you there.
Why did that look like pubes? Just asking for a friend.
Well, this got interesting.
It escalated quickly.
I watched Cocaine Bear this past week.
Yeah.
Gotta say, I wasn't. We actually did. Josh and I did a review on it, and I knew that he would like it. He loves shitty ass movies like that.
I mean, Sharknado.
Yeah, no, it's not shark. This is like a
Sharknado.
Velocipaster.
no, definitely not like that. Definitely not like that. That shit was hilarious. See, the thing is with Velocipaster is those people aren't striving to make a shitty movie. They think they're making an amazing movie, and they're just failing miserably. Cocaine Bear are people that are somewhat decent at making movies, and they're trying to make a bad movie, and it just doesn't work.
I personally enjoyed all of the like really B-rated gore that they threw in there, like the falling out of the ambulance part, like with Rory. See, Rory and I watched Cocaine Bear on the ambulance one night, and I thought he was going to piss himself in that driver's seat.
The ambulance scene was the best thing.
Absolutely, without a doubt.
Yeah, it was great. But yeah, for the listeners out there, the Cocaine Bear will be on our YouTube and on Surfing the Stream, wherever you listen to podcasts. So you can go check that out by the time you're listening to this. Dan, what have you been listening to? Anything of note?
My Spotify playlist right now is Emo Forever.
Yes.
So, I mean, whatever comes kicking up on that, that's what I've been listening to every day.
I cut myself to make the pain go away.
And they play everything from new emo to old stuff. Like it's just a solid mix.
I'm guessing they have like My Chemical Romance on there.
Yeah, oh yeah. Of course.
That's like number 2 song.
Right. Actually, it's just a My Chemical Romance playlist with just some other songs.
Right, with random songs thrown in there.
That's fair.
Costas, y'all been listening to anything?
She's been listening to
John Bon Jovi, Slippery When Wet, and Pearl Jam 10.
Slippery.
That's a shout out.
Right?
I knew where that one was going.
I can always count on Brian to bring in the old school rock.
What you trying to say?
Hey, no judgment, sir. No judgment.
We definitely enjoy it, sir.
Hey, I will say this: I can only listen to like Bon Jovi in a bar when I'm getting shit faced.
No,
it works really well for that.
It does. That music just hits different.
That's fair.
And there's a few songs on that are straight up just drunk white girl anthems. So I mean,
This is true. This is true. Christian?
I'm my normal Breaking Benjamin, and other than that, that's it. Dude, I put Pandora, Breaking Benjamin shit, and just let it go. Whatever plays.
All right. Well, I'm gonna run through my list.
Jesus
Fit for a
Christ.
King. I listened to them for about 3 or 4 hours today. Probably, it felt like I listened to just about all their songs. Current's been listening to them. Periphery, Sleep Token. That's just music you just fuck to, basically. Sleep Token's just fucking amazing. Gojira. I started listening to a new band to me called Black Pumas, and they're kind of like a jazzy indie rock band, and really fucking good stuff. If you're into like it, I'm not saying like they're as good as like Jimi Hendrix, but it kind of have like that sound, kind of. And I would recommend going and check them out if you're interested in more of the indie rock scene. Moon Taxi, same thing. If you're wanting to chillax a little bit, not really get hit in the face with the metal music, Moon Taxi is a decent choice. For as far as podcasts, a new podcast I've checked out where they rank every single album from a particular band each week. It's called Discog Discourse. Pretty decent, worth going check out, guys. That's it. I say that's it, but that's literally been my life, has been the music.
Hold on, let me whip out my book real quick. Oh, my music is this.
How
many video games you played? Like half of one. How much music you listen to?
All of this.
Year load.
all of it.
It's funny because I used to have like this long list of movies that I watch every week, and now it's like like 1 or 2 movies, but my fucking playlist for music is it prevents
Switching it
me
up.
from having it prevents me from committing mass murder. Let's just put it that way. So we
That's fair.
need Matthew to have this music.
On the drive over, Brian got to jam out to the Backstreet Boys.
Oh, nothing wrong with that.
why
There's
you
nothing wrong with
sighing
that.
like that?
Right, he's all
Nothing
upset
wrong
about
with
it.
that.
I was contemplating practicing tucking and rolling.
Just don't mess up
That's
the
fair.
beard, sir. That's all I ask.
No,
Yeah.
it's good. It'll help break the fall.
That's right. That's right.
All right, playing Tears of the Kingdom, but we're not here to talk about Tears of the Kingdom. We talked about that shit last week. Dan, anything else other than the main event?
No.
No.
The Costas?
Before the main event started, myself and the kid were back into doing a little Valheim, actually. We had started a new world on that and was going through it and, doing another world on that. But since D4 has came out, we've been pretty much focused on that until, well, I'm still focused on that. He's
playing Minecraft.
doing a little Minecraft right now, so.
Something about that Minecraft.
Can't mess with me.
Christian?
Besides Tear of the Kingdom, D4. That's it.
Yeah. I mean, I got Diablo 4 at home, Tears of the Kingdom at work. And it's a nice little setup that I got.
It seems like it works.
But that I tell you what's gonna get a wrench thrown into that whole plan is Final Fantasy 16 coming out next week.
Yeah,
Did you see some of the gameplay?
Bro, the demo's out. I want to play it, but I'm like, do I put Diablo 4 down to go play the demo? I don't know what to fucking do.
Dude, that gameplay looks so fucking good.
Lots and lots of good comments about the game so far, from what I've seen.
Dan, you'll be able to
the
play it later.
demo, what I've seen on
Of course.
the Final Fantasy looked amazing, which most of the remakes graphically wise looked absolutely astonishing. Okay, now myself, I've never been a Final Fantasy person. I haven't played now the first one of them, sadly, because it looks like an amazing series. But I'm so far behind on that, and I'm not going to dedicate that amount of time to anything. I'll be honest with you.
You don't have to.
Just delve in whenever.
Yeah, and each game has its own set of characters and story. It doesn't follow each other.
You see, and I thought it was one following through the whole time.
No. Final Fantasy X and Final Fantasy X Part 2 were the only ones that really went together.
Yeah, but
Gotcha.
Nobody plays part 2 though. It's just 10.
I agree, but it's there.
10 is a great place to start. Just saying. I love that game. We did a deep dive series on it, and it's top 10 all time for me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. True story.
Okay.
All right. Main event time. Now, Dan and I I say briefly, but while we were waiting on everybody else, we talked about it a lot before the podcast. But I'm super excited to talk about Diablo 4. So here's how this is going to work. We're going to kind of do the similar thing that we did a couple months ago when we did Hogwarts Legacy, which was we're going to run through certain sections, certain parts of the game, and talk about each different aspect of the game. And I had a lot of fun with Hogwarts Legacy, so this is going to be a great time with Diablo 4. We're going to talk about the story, then we'll talk about the quest and gameplay, where we'll include like strongholds and dungeons, and then we have the essential section, which I'll include like audio design, voice acting, graphics, and like overall performance. And then classes we'll just throw in there, and like questing gameplay. And yeah, that's going to be about how we're going to do this. Diablo 4 released June 6th. So actually it's right at a week. I got it last Monday. It's released from Blizzard. It's an action RPG looter. It's a live service as its foundation. Pretty much the story wise there, it's you're on a quest to find and stop Lilith, who is the daughter of one of the prime evils of hell, after she unleashes her fury upon Sanctuary. So that is the gist of the story. I don't really have a comment on the story aspect of the game. Y'all all do because you're way further ahead. I've only done 3 quests for the Act 1. My other 9-10 hours of the game have been devoted just me fucking around and finding out wherever I go.
Why do I
And
feel like you're always like this when we do these
What?
reviews? Like Hogwarts Legacy. I only played like 45 minutes of it, but I mean, it's all right.
While I was
No.
juggling 3 kids.
I will say this. I have much more of an opinion for more than 2 reasons, or 2 reasons here for this game. One, I have played more time into this and enjoyed it more than Hogwarts Legacy. And then 2, I am way more awake for this episode.
Yeah, I remember that.
That was
Hogwarts
that
Legacy
was
scheduled
hilarious.
45 stuff.
Yeah. It was.
That was
That's
that
because dumbass
him and-
worked 48 hours straight.
I say that was
Just
him
about.
and Christian picking up every overtime
Oh.
they could.
Only the mighty, Matt. Only the mighty can do stuff like that.
Whatever, man. I fell. I tell you, I fell.
I don't remember most of those days.
I worked 48 72s for almost a year. Y'all can have that.
I did 72s.
Yeah, I'm not.
Yeah.
I won't do them again.
You're fucking right about that.
I will never do that shit again.
I'd
I
rather
won't
stick
do that
screwdrivers in my
again.
eyes. So yeah, story wise, I don't have any comment. I've just done a bunch of side quests, and I think I have like 10 to 12 hours somewhere along there. I'm playing at least an hour every single night since it came out. But I'll let y'all jump into the story. I don't care about spoilers. I'm just gonna follow along even without the spoilers. So I don't really care. I don't really care. But Dan, what you think, man?
So story wise, I like the way they came up with, like, it has its own story to it. For the newer play, you got a lot of people who this is their first Diablo game. They haven't played. I've been playing since '96, since the original. So they do a good job, in my opinion, at still tying characters and things to the previous games and kind of some of the story. But this time they explain to you how the entire Diablo world was created and why it was created. So they do a good job at making its own independent story, but tying it in with everything all at once. And as you play through, watching those movie scenes and stuff and listening to the dialogue, you start to pick up on it. Like, there's still some reading you need to do if you want to be completely attuned with everything, like, all 100% of the story, but a lot of it is laid out for you throughout the game.
Like Dan, I never played the original Diablo, but I've played 2 through, with the exception of Immortal. I didn't play Diablo Immortal, but I probably had about 1,500 to 1,800 hours on Diablo 3, and I love the callbacks to the previous. I love the way they made it its own mission. It wasn't dependent. It didn't lean on anything else, but the callbacks to it, to D3 to D2, going into the old Tristram, when you first follow, we're just gonna call him the Wolf, so I don't spoil anything for you or nothing like that. Okay, when you first follow the Wolf, where you going into is actually old Tristram. That's the cage where Deckard Cain was held at when you first had to go save him at. And just callbacks like that, going and finding on the map the old hidden camp from D3 that's overlooking Chaldeum. Small bits like that made the story so much more rich to me. It doesn't feel like you're in a separate world doing a separate story. You're still in that Diablo universe. You're still progressing through. You're still in that same place that we've been at all these years now. And that was a huge boon to me. I think the story was amazing. I thought it was very well laid out. Any gripes I have with that are minuscule at best, but like I said, my gripe was I'd like to see him call back to others, but I got a feeling that that's something we're going to see coming up in an expansion or something, is what I'm thinking. But I was truly impressed with it, and I enjoyed the story all the way through.
I felt like some of the acts were a little too short. Like, I felt like some of the pieces of the story were a little too short.
When I looked it up on like howlongtobeat.com, and no, that's not a porn site. I swear.
Brayson's checking it right now.
He said, "Can you, sir?"
Hold up, I gotta go take a shit. So when I looked it up, it said like the main story was only like what 25 hours long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With,
I was
plus
gonna
with
say,
some
I was gonna
some
guess
side quests
about
thrown in
20.
there.
So when it came out, we got it a couple of days before because we pre-ordered and all that fun stuff and did all the fancy crap that person gave us from Blizzard. And it was in the middle of my week off and I finished it. We finished the game in 4 days. Like 4 nights of playing.
That's
and
impressive.
we weren't continuously playing. Like,
But we also, and I made a conscious effort of this, and that's to cheat. I didn't want to just blast it and play for 36 hours straight to get through the. I didn't want to do that. I wanted to enjoy the story and everything on the way through.
I enjoyed the story. I remember everything. My cousin, he was.
Grayson finished it in 2 nights.
Yeah, that's highly doable. Yeah.
The joys of being young.
Well, and the other problem he
So
found
much stamina.
Once he finished it, he was lower level than everything.
Yeah, because then I tried to do like tier 3, and I was still like level 42, so I couldn't compete with the mobs.
I
And
can't
the
beat anything.
Druid was so weak until I got to 50. It was ridiculous.
Hey, we're not gonna be able to, the listeners won't be able to hear him very well.
You have to get over here, like I said.
You'll have to get in front because it's a directional mic on the laptop.
How much of the story do you want to hear about?
Who, me?
Yeah. Or
I don't give a shit. I'm still gonna like when we were playing together, y'all skipped all the shit, so I missed like the first half of the game. Or not first half, but the first half of the act. But now that I've been doing it solo, shout out. I've been kind of slowly going through the story a little bit. I enjoy it, and that's one of the things that I do like about the game so far is you can skip all of it and not have an issue with it, and you can just play it just to play it, or you can get that like y'all were saying, you get that added depth to the game where you have the story to it, and that's kind of what I'm trying to do right now. I'm trying to follow along, but I don't really care about spoilers at this point.
Because they bring back Andariel, they bring back Duriel from the previous games. You get Mischief. They talk about Deckard Cain. Like there's a lot of tie-in with the previous games.
Zerum, what is it? What it was? The son that she got the key from. The one she got the key from.
Yeah.
Oh no, you're talking about Rathma.
Yeah, Rathma.
Yeah, right. So there's a whole. It's just the depth of the story, tying it in for the old schoolers like me, like the old school players. It makes it, feel like it's a continuation, and then at the same time does it.
And then right like near the end, you refight a lot of the old school bosses from 2 up.
Yeah, that was amazing the way they did that, and
right.
I was gonna say, the way they did it in Act 6, I think Act 6 was a masterpiece. I really do.
I agree.
From the absolute most amazing cutscene I've ever seen in games.
Yes.
The bridge. The bridge was my favorite one.
Absolutely. Probably one of the best I've ever seen in gaming in my life.
Right.
I've heard a lot of good things about the cutscenes.
Yeah, the bridge one. If you want to watch something good and you don't care about spoilers, go watch the bridge scene and you will not be disappointed.
Oh, I'm gonna see it soon, sir. I'm gonna savor it.
Oh no, sir, that's like Act 6. You ain't gonna be there for another year.
No, I'm putting some of my side quests away.
I told him to invite me to his fucking group so I can help him do some shit here.
Yeah, someone left me alone out there. Not gonna name any names.
Oh, excuse me.
I gotta go to bed. I was like, you motherfucker.
Bitch, 4 o'clock in the morning comes early. Fuck you.
Oh, hey. Bros before hoes.
Were you off? Were you off? I didn't think so. Fuck off.
Do what?
Sir, that was put away, okay? There's no hose here. Forget I'm married. There's no such thing.
So yeah, I like the story. Just for this is, I know y'all are kind of been into Diablo for a long time. I dabbled a little bit in Resurrected when it came out a couple of years. Was it last year? Was it the year before? I can't remember. I did not like it.
No, that's garbage.
It's very much a game. Like I feel like, yeah, it looks good, but it still plays like a game that came out a long time ago, and they didn't do any quality of life adjustments to it. And yeah, I did not care for it. Dabbled a little bit in Diablo 3, really enjoyed it. And then when I heard Diablo 4 was coming out, it doesn't make any sense, but I decided to save myself. Doesn't make any sense, but that's what happened.
That's fair.
Jumping into the quest, the gameplay, strongholds, the dungeons, and the classes. This is going to be the huge section of this podcast. Dan, we'll start with you. Just go through like who you're playing as, and we'll kind of just like what kind of not necessarily what build you're going with. I mean, you can mention that, but you can talk about your experience with that character, and then we'll kind of go through all that, and then we'll talk about just miscellaneous quests and shit like that.
Okay. So, the class I'm playing is a Sork. I've always been partial to Sorks to begin with. In previous games, it had been cold Sorks or that type of nature. Now I'm playing a lightning Sork. It's very different. Not what I'm used to in the previous games, because a Sork in previous games, you kind of stand back and just throw spells. The builds on this, you can get in close with your Sork. You can be melee range if you want, and build it that way and survive. So that's a really good, because from what I understand from the class system on this one, everything I've looked at is they've taken classes from previous 2 games, 2 and 3, and sort of combined them a little bit. So you got like the Sork class that I'm playing is the old Sork class plus the wizard class put together. You like your necromancer that you play. It's a combination of the old necro and the newer witch doctor together.
Yeah.
Rogues are trap sins and demon hunters put together. So they did a really nice job with making these class systems very versatile, and there's a lot of depth to your class on which ways you can go.
Yeah.
And the fact that it costs gold to respec them, that really helps a lot too. Like,
Oh yeah.
if I don't like what I'm doing, just go farm a little gold, redo it.
That is just hold on right there just for a second. That is one of my favorite things about the game so far.
Yeah.
Is I'm getting to a point like Christian has sent me some stuff on some builds, right? And I decided to go with vampire necromancer kind of build. And I realized that I had a bunch of shit that didn't go in that build, but I could just go in there and just sell back that little skill, that little bone spear that I never fucking use. And I was just grabbing, and I could put that skill point towards something easy, and it just costs a little bit of gold. And yeah, that's like one of my favorite aspects of the game so far.
Yeah, and the fact that you don't have to refund your whole build to redo it. It's 1 point at a time.
Exactly. It lets you tinker with it and play with different builds within that one class.
Yep.
My problem is that I have in Diablo 3, my brain still thinks that I'm in Diablo 3 sometimes, because I have like 20 billion gold in Diablo 3. So I'll just start spending on stuff. And then it's like, I can't do that. I can't do that. I'm like, why can't you do? Oh, I'm broke. Oh, I have 20 gold. Okay. So
I have 35 million.
Yeah.
35 million?
Yes.
Like I was telling Dan before we all jumped on, I was trying to do a stronghold, and I was just getting my ass reamed every single time. I died like 10 times. Easy. And I couldn't fucking do it. It was the three demon witches. And I forget what was the city again?
Witchwater.
It was the one on the bottom left. It was like Novastat.
I think it's Novascad. I think so.
Yeah, it is Novascad.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah. Just getting my ass reamed there, man. Couldn't do it. And
at
then
early levels, they're not intended to solo at early levels.
No.
Now they tell me.
It's a stronghold. You don't storm a stronghold by yourself.
Have fun
Have y'all ever
storming
met
the
me
castle.
before?
Bullshit. Watch me storm that motherfucking castle.
Yeah, now.
I fuck bitches ask questions later.
That's right.
Sounds like you getting fucked asking questions later.
Yeah, that's right.
Why does my butt hurt?
But yeah, next thing I know, after dying like 10 times, it says, your equipment has lost all durability. You need to go repair that. I was like,
Yeah.
oh shit. And it was like 20,000 gold. I was like, God damn.
Oh, only 20,000?
It was something like that.
Yeah,
It was
he's
a
still on
lot.
tier 2 gear though.
I was
He's
fixing to
still
say
a world tier
20,000.
2.
20,000 is one die and have to go repair. And I
Yeah,
get to the point where it's telling me that my stuff is like dead.
Yeah, he's still world tier 2 though, so
Yeah, that's true.
it's all
Okay.
cheap then.
It's all cheap then. I'm in the baby tier.
And easily
Oh.
replaceable. You don't have to repair it; just replace the damn piece. It's just that point.
That's true.
You're replacing gear so fast. Going through the story.
Yeah, I'm not going through that much gear, honestly. Gear that
Everything
just is better.
Everything you pick up is like, oh, piece of candy. Oh, piece of candy. Oh, piece of candy.
Yeah, and then I see it and it's like, this is doo-doo. I'm just gonna
As soon as you hit world tier 3, every piece of gear you have is gonna be garbage, trash.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like you're gonna throw it all away.
Mm-hmm.
And all of
You're gonna
your
do
fun
one
little...
hell tide and replace everything you have.
Yeah.
What about y'all, Brian and Corey? What y'all playing as? Oh, you were
I
about to say
play as
something? I didn't mean to
I've
interrupt
been
you.
playing as a barbarian, and that's been my class. That's been my primary. I played it through everything. I love the old strong melee build. I mean, I played it in all the Diablos. Hell, even back to World of Warcraft, I was a warrior on that. It's just that's my repertoire. It's the up close and personal. But and I'm doing right now. I'm still Hammer of the Ancients right now is the build I'm running. I really, really want to swap the Whirlwind, but I need a few more synergy pieces before I can do that. And I just got into World Tier 4 that's literally a couple days ago. And like I said, that attunement dungeon, that boss fight, it's real. Okay, that is a real damn fight. Okay, but seeing the mobs after that and the ancestral items, when you go to World Tier 3, you get sacred items. When you go to World Tier 4, you get sacred, and then you get ancestral items, which is the next step up. And a few of them pieces really change your entire character. Not even the full set, just a couple pieces. So the progression in the game shows that. But doing the barbarian build, I can tell you, and Christian will probably, echo this as well. Early on, it was a pain in the ass. You do no damage. You do. I think he and I both started off with the Rend build, trying to just bleed everything to death. And basically, it's can I stay alive until they die? They're gonna die, but can I live till then? And then I hit a wall at about 30 where I just couldn't go any further. And that's when I switched to Hammer of the Ancients. I re-rolled my aspects on everything, and I've been that ever since. And like I said, right now my guy's really starting to command dungeons and helltides and stuff like that. Has gotten to where it's a lot of fun now.
Mm-hmm.
Now, talk about Helltides for a little bit. How is that different than dungeons or whatever? I don't know what a Helltide is.
Helltides are just a random zone. Okay.
It usually covers like 3 or 4 zones.
Correct. But like I said, just a random area of the map, and it's going to tell you the Helltide has descended. When you look at your map, that area is going to be almost like a blood red. When you go into that area, you will fight the enemies there, fight the mobs in there, and they will drop aberrant cinders, which is almost like a currency, basically. To me, it seems like a bounty program. You kill shit, you get this currency, and you can go to these little chests that are dotted around the map, and they
screaming.
They cost different levels of cinders, and you can turn into cinders there for items. Now, there is a chest on each map that is not marked, or each area that's not marked, that never moves, and it's 175 cinders, and that's the top tier one. Okay, that's the one that you're normally going to get at least one good legendary out of, or one top tier legendary out of, or something like that. And that's
we got 4 out of them yesterday.
Yeah,
exactly.
I popped one yesterday. It dropped 5 legendaries.
Yes, the one I did last night dropped 4 for me. That was pretty amazing.
The best one I had was 3 and a unique.
Yeah. But
and you can theoretically in the Helltide, because it lasts for like an hour, you can theoretically open every chest. I think when me and Christian did it last night, I was only not able to open 1 chest total. out of all of them across all
Yeah.
4 zones.
Exactly, dude. And I have to send y'all a website, but there is now a player-made website that when the Helltide goes active, it gives you the possible locations for the 175 chest.
Okay.
And that has really been helpful because before I had finished out that hour and not found that 175 chest.
Yeah, because you have to run around looking for it.
Exactly. But
But if you die, you lose half your cinders.
Ooh.
Oh, see, I didn't die.
there's a risk to that if you try to pull that extra group. And I mean, in Rift, in World Tier 3, it's not that big a deal, but when you go in the World Tier 4, and
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
World Tier 4, let me tell you to start off with, spoiler on this, crowd control gets real. Okay? Like I've been stun locked for 6 or 7 seconds straight on my barb and just can't do a shit about it because all my cooldowns are on cooldown, you know?
Yeah.
And you will die to that for a while until you can figure out how to build around that. But that's what was killing me in Helltide was I'd go into the mobs and I'd get stunned and my guy would move a half an inch and he'd get stunned again and he'd put his axe and he'd get stunned again. It's like, oh shit. But yeah, if you die in Helltide, you lose half of your cinders. Now,
Okay.
you could also, if you need to go sell shit, you can leave the Helltide area and come back during that event. It's 1 hour. Okay? It's a 1 hour event. But you can leave, like if you're in Ministad, you need to go to Kilvashed to repair your gear and sell your shit. You come back to the Helltide area, all your cinders are still there. Now, the one caveat to that is, if it's still working by then, is if you go World Tier 3 and get 300 cinders, and you found the 175 chest, you can go back to Kilvashed. You can change it to World Tier 4 and we'll get World Tier 4 rewards for it. I fully expect that to be patched very soon because the Tree of Whispers you can't do that with. Whatever you gain, whatever tier you gain your Grim rewards on, and your little dots in your map, you have to be in that tier to turn them in. So I fully expect the Cinders to do that as well too.
You fucking ruined it, man. The Diablo 4 developers are listening to this podcast, and they patched it already.
I mean, I figure if Dr. Lupo can put it on a YouTube short and it hasn't been taken down yet, we might have a few more days.
Right. And with the cinders too, at the end of the hour, anything you haven't spent is gone. You don't see it again.
Yeah.
It's completely gone. So it's worth going spend them.
This ain't Tarkov. You can't put them in your butt.
What?
Hold up. Is this a gameplay mechanic?
Yes.
It
Well,
is. You put stuff in your prison wallet. No, don't let him say it. You put it in your prison wallet.
It's called a
secure container.
And
Secure container.
In your butt.
Yeah, but
It's not that secure if you can open it freely.
Yeah, right. Insecure container.
And you can shove a 1 pound med kit up there, so it's pretty nice.
Touching on the gameplay stuff as well. One of the good things about some of these builds too, or even the classes, you can do well by yourself, but a lot of the classes will cross synergize really well. Like Christian's build that he has right now synergizes with my Sork in an unbelievable manner. It's just ridiculous. Where that didn't exist previously, like the characters were just you made your build and your build was strong or your build was weak, period. And it didn't matter what kind of character was with you were either strong or weak. Now they've added that extra synergy where when you're playing with somebody else that you synergize well with, your builds are similar or not similar, but one will cause an effect that your build is built around, and they just go back and forth. They've really done a nice job at creating a want to play with someone else.
Yeah.
I think what you were talking about.
I play with a rogue a lot and a sorcerer, and the synergy between those three, because I do the one shout and everything turns and looks at me. The rogue just stabs everything in the back. The sorcerer draws everything in. It just works great. Now, I'm going to tell you the one build that does not synergize with anything. And that is the trampled druid, because
It's not
you get them all in a one little area and he just runs in and throws them all over the freaking place. Okay.
It's the polarized build, but I have triple in it, and I just kind of run through shit. But
Exactly. So then all the work you've done to get them grouped up, it's over with.
well, maybe you shouldn't group them up.
Yeah, Dan, you were talking about yours and Christian's build. Christian, like, what, pulls them in, and then go into that a little bit more in detail?
So, Christian, you want to tell them how your build works out first?
I play as a barb, and I have a bleed build, and it's pretty much rend, but I pull them all into with grappling hooks, and they all come to me, and they all get vulnerable automatically. Everybody that I pulled, and my shout confuses them as well, and then increases damage. So Dan feeds off of mine because all his damage does more damage on vulnerable.
Yeah,
enemies.
so I do 20% boost against vulnerable, 20% boost against crowd controlled, 20% boost when I'm in a group of 5 or more close by, so his pull helps. And if they're under any sort of effect like bleed, I do an additional 20%. It's just I stack off of everything he creates, and so I'll hang just a little bit back and wait for him to pull everything together, and then I'll teleport in, and as soon as I impact the ground, I have random chance to cast 2 of my lightning skills instantly without actually pressing the button. It'll just cast them for free. And so that synergy works well. He creates the effects that I need, and then I just jump in and blast it. So he's just constantly pulling them together, and I kill him. He'll pull them together, and it works great, really great with these big dungeons and like strongholds when there's just stuff crowding around you, and I blast off. He creates the effects I need, and I tear it all up.
Shout out.
But yeah, I cause that bleed, and my bleed is I can pretty much in tier 3 right now, I can pretty much hit one person with bleed and instantly kill them. Like there's no healing for them, it's just automatic death. So I just leave them because I know they're gonna die.
We're melting bosses together right now. Like the 2 of us hit any boss so far in tier 3 doesn't last longer than about 25 seconds, except for that world boss we hit. Whoops.
Yeah, fuck that dude. In the Tide, he was level 70, and we're like, nothing. We were doing shit to that dude.
Have y'all hit the one in the Hell Tides at 70?
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
that's what I'm talking about.
The one that looks like a beetle or whatever? Yeah.
Yep,
that's
fuck
the
that
one.
Dude. Fuck that dude.
We're not leveled enough to kill him yet.
You want to know what pissed me off more than anything? If there was 4 of us, we killed it. Okay? He dropped 1 non-sacred yellow. That was it.
What the piss?
That aggravates
I was
me.
so pissed by that because that's a long damn fight, you know?
I can tell you what, though, I feel pleasure in saying that me and Dan finally beat the fuck out the butcher. Fuck that
I
dude.
did too. Yeah.
Fuck that dude. It was so nice. I ran the corner and saw him, and I'm like, "It's your ass."
Matt has not gotten to see the butcher yet. He's still yet to encounter it.
You're going to hear him before you see him. And
oh, yeah.
I promise you, your heart's going to skip a beat when you hear that fresh meat call out. I'm telling you.
Is it going to be one of those?
It's one of those you run or die. Pick one.
Yeah.
Is it like swiggity swiggity? I'm going to get that booty?
Oh, yeah. He's going to get that booty.
Exactly. Rudy Toot coming for the boot. Yep.
He got the hook. He going to pull your ass back.
Once again, an amazing mechanic and callback to previous Diablos, too, with that.
Yeah.
I love that addition.
Yes.
Yeah, so I haven't run into him. I've done.
But you've only done 2 dungeons, right?
3.
Or just 2 that was for you. 3.
3
okay.
of the Codex dungeons.
Yeah, so that's where he
dungeons.
That's where he
First
shows
dungeon
up.
we walked into. Like
Her and I,
he and I, like we were waiting on somebody to join to keep going with our story. First dungeon we walked into. Turned a corner and I hear fresh meat, and I was like, "Butcher, butcher, butcher, butcher!"
Fresh meat? Is this prison?
I mean, essentially, he makes it like it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I promise you, he killed her almost instantly that time.
No, I did for a little while, but then I was like, no, and he just kept coming at me.
Because
And
he locks onto somebody and just stays on them.
The
Yeah.
first time I fought him, I called Kori to get you and Brian. Y'all come help me kill him. And then he
Switch my no
disappeared.
square.
He fucked me and Dan up.
Oh yeah, bad.
I was like,
Oh yeah,
I
it
tried
ruined
to
the wild
call her.
open, I'm telling you.
It's rough.
But like I said, an amazing mechanic adding him. I loved that. I really did.
Yeah.
I thought that was an amazing addition.
He dropped 2 yellows.
Because he was in our level up dungeon to go to
Correct.
Nightmare. He was in our
Oh god,
dungeon.
he was in
Oh,
your World Tier 3 dungeon.
Yes.
Oh, that was a horrible addition.
That's all right. We fucked him. That's okay. With
Yeah,
him.
we were ready for him by then. So the first time we met him, we were not.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
No, we were like we were confident, overconfident. We're like, yeah, me and you together, we're gonna kill that dude. No.
No.
He double tapped Dan and was done. He's like, oh, got you. As I'm running
He
around
hit
like a
me.
girl.
I teleported away, took off running, and he hooked me. Said, "Nah, bitch, you're coming back." I'm like,
Yeah.
this ain't good.
I
was
only have to be
me.
faster than the person behind me. That's all I got to do.
I'll be honest, I haven't looked at his loot table yet. Can you get his axe again?
Yes,
Yes.
yes, you can.
Hashtag
I got his
gold.
helm. I got his helm.
Mhm.
I got 2 yellows.
Now,
Oh.
Matt, covering something in gameplay. One of the things I want to touch base on is the way they did the scaling system on this one. I talked with you about it a little bit before everybody came on. So, like on your screen, if I'm playing with you, you're level what?
I just hit 29.
Okay, and I'm level 52. So what I see on the screen is level 52 characters. What you see is level 29 characters, and it's seamless. In previous games, it wasn't like that. You
No.
go along with me in Nightmare, and I'm blasting things. You're just standing back collecting XP. Well, now they've got it to where your XP is scaled for your level, the health on the mob is scaled for your level, and the damage you do. And they did that. One of the interesting things about the mechanic that they did with that was they made it percent based. So if you're doing, let's say, 100 damage on 1,000, whatever that percentage is, if I'm doing 200, I'm doing my percentage to his health bar on the screen. You're doing your percentage on his health bar to your screen. So to me, it looks like you're doing more damage than to the health, but you're not. You're only doing it scaled to you. So it doesn't make the enemies overpowered for you in order to keep up with me, or it doesn't make it really not worth my time playing because they're too low a level.
And they can
That's a
also
really
drop
good thing about the
items
game.
your level, no matter what level you are.
Right.
You know,
The game
which makes
scales
it
to your level,
worthwhile.
period, for you, for each
Unless it's
individual
in
player.
In game, it doesn't do that. As we
Well, right,
learned
but
the hard way.
by then it doesn't matter anymore.
What's it doing in game?
So we had a guy follow us through the end of Act 6. He was level 30 when he started. And he
Right.
was fighting 46, almost 50. But he was getting 40 in level 46 gear
Right.
drops.
Oh.
There is what's called a level floor. Instead of a level ceiling, it's a level floor. So it won't go below a particular level the later in the game you go. But as long as you're above that level floor, it only scales to you. But like Christian said, at some point the game's like, all right, that's enough. You're too low. Go back, or have some friends that can carry you, or constantly revive you, I should say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is
the other
yet
thing
another
about-
mechanic they've added is reviving other players on the spot. I do enjoy that.
Yeah. Also, have y'all done a lot of Nightmare dungeons yet, Dan, Christian?
Not a whole lot of them. No, we just kind of
I
got
think we
into
did one. I
Nightmare.
think that was it.
Yeah, we hit one and did a Helltide, and then Christian had to go. So then I kind of
Yeah.
did some of my little renown stuff because I'm way behind on that.
Yeah. Well, we've been running a lot of the Helltide dungeon. I can tell you right now, I think we've gotten up to tier 20 in Helltide. Oh, not Helltide, Nightmare dungeons, excuse me. I said that totally wrong, but we've gotten up to a tier 20 Nightmare dungeon. And at that, they were about 12 levels higher than my character when we went
Okay.
into that. But the XP was decent. Drops were very good. They aren't overly complicated to go through, but let me tell you, shit hits hard. You start going up, but the lower nightmares, they're actually worth it because when you go through the nightmare dungeons, at the end you can level up your glyphs for your paragon.
Right.
And that is worth it in so many ways, man. And but I thought that was another interesting addition because the one thing I've noticed about the game, and I know Dan, you've played a lot of the previous ones, and you may agree or disagree with me. The game is trying really hard not to be Diablo 3.
Yeah. Yeah,
okay?
definitely.
Like purposely, like I said, you don't have we're not going to call them rifts. We're not going to call them this. We're going to call it a nightmare dungeon. So something, but basically it's the same mechanic as going through some of this other stuff, and you just level it up with the sigils instead of selecting it at the start screen. So
yeah.
Like I said, one thing I have noticed about D4 is that they made a conscious effort not to make it D3.
Or they didn't want to continue. They didn't want to continue off of a mechanic and call it the same mechanic that they had before. They want it to be its own game.
Absolutely, and I respect that. I like that.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
some of the other things in the game, and it's mainly just a question that I have, honestly. So Essence is essentially the MP for Diablo, basically. That's how you cast your spells and your skills.
Everybody's got their own.
Yeah.
It's mana.
So yours is you're playing a necromancer, you have essence.
I have fury.
I have mana.
I have spirit.
So everybody's
more
is different.
And the rogue has energy.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So with all that,
i.e. call it a spender. Because that's what they are. That bar is your spenders.
I didn't hear what you said, Matt. What?
I said I honestly didn't know that because this is the only build that I've played with so far. Yeah. So MP, basically.
Yeah.
So drop something. So my question to y'all is there an elixir? Is there something that I can get that gives me fucking more of it?
No, you'll have to do your build. You'll get gear and build pieces and stuff later, and skills later that help boost that.
That bone spear that you threw away, that you said you didn't need, for every shot that it hits, it gives you essence.
Well, goddamn.
Yeah. So read through your stuff. Like you have, like I have a basic cast. It's called Arc Lash. Every time it hits, I get mana. So you do have ways to generate it while you're playing your basic hits or whatever. But there's also stuff later that, like, upon hitting a stun character or something, for me, I generate 5 mana, and Christian stuns him, I generate mana. Like there's build synergy, or there's synergy in your build that'll help your consumption for your essence. And then, like she said, there's going to be other things that will help give it back to you faster. But no, there's not a health potion.
I mean, some of your build has you get 5 extra points in your tree. There's like one little passive thing that maybe gives you 5. That's about it. And your build is mainly
maximum amount.
Yeah. So then your build, depending on the armor you run, depending on whatever you do, like mine, I build when I shout or when I get hit. My fury automatically builds, and then I use it. And when I hit somebody, I get more back. And depending on what skills I combine, whether I get a percentage back on mine. So like if I go empty and I hit somebody with a skill that doesn't require fury, I can get a percentage, maybe 20%, depending on what my build is, my armor is set. Because a lot of those imprints and stuff that legendaries have that you can take away from and put on other gear helps a lot. Like I literally have one that gives me 20% more damage on pawn standing still. So if I'm pulling them to me, not only do I do more damage, I can also have one that when I stand next to so many enemies, I automatically heal. So I'm constantly healing and getting more damage as I bring more people next to me.
They didn't give you any kind of potions in that, and they haven't in previous games either, for a direct reason. They don't want to make it to where you're so overpowered and you just keep casting your skills over and over, because that would just make it to where you're steamrolling everything. I mean, you already can build builds that do it, but it'd be worse if you had unlimited resource to do so.
We need
I mean,
Game
the
Shark.
older ones have to. The older games,
Game Shark.
D2 and D3, D2 had it. You used to have mana potions in D2.
Well, yeah, in D2, but not in D3.
Yeah, so I mean, they learned from
gated
their
it back
mistakes.
then, so just so you didn't have to deal with that.
Because I remember pressing 1 or 2 for getting in a
Yeah,
fight.
yeah. Yeah, in D2 they had it, but
Yeah.
But in 3 they took it away because they didn't want the way the skill systems work. They didn't want you to just be able to blast through stuff infinitely.
Yeah, that's kind of one of the issues. Yes. That was kind of one of the issues that I had ran into with that stronghold that I was on y'all about. It was just every 5 seconds. I don't have enough essence for that. Well, bitch, find the fucking essence because I need it.
It makes you think a little more tactically because you have to mitigate damage and you know while you're regenning. It makes you think about how you're going to play a little more than just smashing a button.
What are you using, Matt?
What you mean? What am I using?
He's using level low 30.
I understand.
He is using death, is what he's using.
I understand that, but you see, here's the thing: at level 30, I wasn't squishy. Brian was, and I could go in and wipe everything out by myself. So what I'm saying is what are you using? Because you're not playing it right.
Apparently not.
Well,
So
really
I got
not. Because I never ran out of essence. I never ran low on health, and I was killing everything that was put in front of me. Now I hit level 40 and I was done.
40, 45, yeah, you hit that wall.
Yep, I had to switch my build.
So I have my ultimate is what's called Blood Wave, which is fucking dope, I think. That's the only one that I've played with so far. That's the one with it sends a wave and it pushes everybody back. Mm-hmm. Good for crowd control, I think, or to push everybody the fuck back. I have the what is it, Blood Sphere?
Okay.
I think it's what it's called. I have that one. And then I have the scythe. That's just my my melee attack. And then trying to remember, I have the one where it curses the ground. I think that's what it was.
You have a corpse explosion.
Corpse explode. Look, I just put that on my build the other night, and I told Christian that shit is fucking OP. But you gotta have corpses in order to do
it. So here's where you need to read through your stuff because you're not playing it right. But I promise you, if you put the right build on it, you will overpower everything you come across. Everything. Till you hit about 40, 45, then you're going to have to rethink everything you're doing.
If you need to look at other rolls, on other builds, go to, I use Max Rolls. Is what I look for, maxroll.com. I think that's the one I sent to Christian too when he was looking at them.
Yeah, I did too. I use Icy Vein. It helps a lot too.
Icy Vein's another good one.
Yeah, but, I did that with my rogue. I did that so I did a leveling up build. So I could, certain skills I use to help me level up until I get to the end game, and then I can use the other builds that I need to.
Yeah.
Still trying to find that damn grandfather sword, two-handed sword, though, man.
Right.
Yeah, I kind of just look. I'm gonna be honest. I'm usually a barbarian style player. I usually just go in there. Like I said, fuck bitches, ask questions later, and I'm no defense, all offense kind of thing. So
I'm Barb's not a good one for this one.
Well, I mean, in just early games in general.
Oh, I know, but early on this one, Barbs suck. They're so squishy.
They are, man. They are. But I'm gonna tell you, good days are coming. Just keep
at it.
Yeah.
I'm coming.
I think I made it to 68 last night, and good days are coming.
55 or 56.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm beating ass.
I've ever played a game where I wasn't squishy.
Yeah.
I didn't have the squish because like for D3, I played a witch doctor. That's a hard class to build and perfect.
Yeah,
She
but
was-
if you got it built and perfected, that witch doctor was fucking
You
disgusting.
do, but you have to do a lot to get it perfected.
Yes, you do. I remember those
and
days.
and she's squishy until you get her perfected, until you get her the right gear too, is the
Correct.
biggest thing for her. And
But once
she's
you got
squishy.
it, that was it.
Oh yeah, like
Yes.
now I can go in and do anything by myself with my witch doctor on D3, but with this one, with that necromancer, like I said, I was kicking all the ass.
I think each class probably has a particular wall point, and it's
Yeah.
different from class to class where that wall point is going to be.
You see, I agree with that wholeheartedly because, like I said, my buddy that I play with the most, he plays rogue, and coming up through, leveling through, man, he just, once again, I brought everything in, I shouted, everything turned to me, he killed everything, you know, and he hit that wall about level 45 to level 50 where
Right.
he wasn't putting that damage out anymore that he was, and he had to go reevaluate because all it was is he just had some imprints, some aspects that just wouldn't synergize and go with what he was doing. And
Right. Yeah, I was explaining the aspects to Matt earlier. Like, you got to start paying attention to those.
Most important part of your build is not the gear you're using, but I think it's the aspects that are on the gear. I really do believe
Yeah, because
that.
some of those aspects, you have two of the same one, it's not going to work.
Correct.
Oh yeah, all of them are that way.
All of them.
Yeah.
Oh,
The
so they don't
aspects are
stack.
unique. So you can only
They
have
do
one.
not
No, they
stack.
do not stack. What'll happen is when you have two equipped that have the same one, if you go to the lower power one, it'll be grayed out on the legendary gear. It'll be non-effective.
Exactly.
So clearing
That's
out
good
those
to know.
dungeons, those aspect dungeons, are key.
Yeah.
They're really key. Especially, I mean, you don't have to knock all of them out, but the ones that will work for your build, you need to go knock out.
But also understand, though, the aspect dungeons, the aspects you get out of the dungeons will always be the lowest roll of that aspect. The
Yeah,
ones
you can
get
find the
off
same.
drops have a chance to get higher ones.
Right, you can find the same one on a piece of equipment, but it's going to have higher rolls.
But it'd be perfect for you right now. Matt.
Exactly. It's a great starting point. At 100%, you know?
Yeah, but the legendaries that like me and Brian and Dan are getting right now, I mean, we could fight a boss and have a higher chance than you right now. So we are looking for those aspects, those re-rolled, so we can take them off and put them on our equipment so we could do more. There's endless possibilities on each armor, each way, how you do it. Like me and Brian are two different builds, but I still kill shit quite quickly, and he kills shit quite quickly with two different build styles.
Yeah,
but the part I'm upset about with that, and once again, y'all may echo this, you may not. I could switch to Christian's build right now with about 7 skill points.
Yeah.
The rest of it is all the same. And I don't like that. I'd like to see more diversity in the build. Some of these skills are just so lackluster.
Oh, the Sork's way different.
You know?
Sork is way different from that. Like,
yeah.
I think that's class specific. Like, certain classes are going to be that way and some aren't.
Because like I said, I could change right now from my Hammer of the Ancients build to Rend with him or to Whirlwind, and I could change that build at about 7, maybe 8 skill points difference. And that's it. It's over with. I've changed the complete build up. You know?
Yep.
And I just feel like you have all these. Look, I tried oh goddamn, was it not Rupture, but Upheaval is what I was trying. Because I mean, on paper, the skill looks amazing.
Right.
Okay? And I tried it, and for about the first 10 levels, I was like, nope, this shit is not going to work. You know?
Well, I built my own Ren build. Like, before I looked up how to do a Ren build, I built my own. I threw 3 different shouts on. I had like the power up shout, the challenging shout, the rally shout, and did the powerful shout. Had all of those, and then Rend. And I would kill shit, but when I switched over and did, I mean, it's not 100% the build they said. It's a little tweaked by me, but I did so much different.
Oh,
like I'm always causing a bleed, no matter what I hit you with. If it could be my normal attack, Because my normal attack is boosted by, I think it's 1900%.
Exactly.
And I do a lot of damage with that, but it doesn't do the bleed that I want, that Ren will hit. Because Ren will hit it and then fucking just take the health. Or Dan will kill it. Either one.
I do enjoy the fact that they gave you inventory slots like your elixirs. They don't take up your regular inventory.
Yeah.
The aspects, they have their own tab as well. Like everything's got its own set of tabs in your inventory, so you're not worried about I can't carry gear because I have this aspect I'm hanging on to now. Or, I've got elixirs for boosting my XP and stuff.
Now,
Yeah,
part
I
of me
didn't know anything
wishes
about
they would
that.
add a gym slot. Part of me wishes that thinks it should stay like it is. I'm on the fence with that, but
I mean, you get your gems back when you
When you salvage.
demolish, you salvage.
Correct.
So I just throw my gems in random slotted shit because I'm gonna destroy it anyway. So I just throw them in there and give it back.
I'll be honest with you. I haven't been picking them up because I have so many of them already.
I agree with you on that one.
I have so many of them that I could redo gems and gear probably 100 times, and I still have gems left over.
I told Dan that
I think
yesterday.
they're probably going to gate the drop on that back. I mean, look, they obviously got some patches to do, and that's probably one of the things they're going to do is gate back how often those drop.
I hope so. Because I get like 2 or 3 a drop.
For gameplay, Matt, I'm on PC, Kori's on PC, Brayson's on PC. I'm about 90% sure that Christian's on PC as well.
No, I'm on PS5.
You're playing on.
He's on PS5.
We're all on
PS5.
PlayStation.
Yeah, they're
Okay.
PlayStations.
We're Sony
The
ponies.
launch on
I mean, I
PC.
have it downloaded on my PC.
Yeah, but I can say this: the launch on PC was great. Wasn't perfect, but it was probably one of the better launches I've seen. I know PS5 had some issues in early access.
I didn't have any issues. I didn't have not an issue. I logged in. As soon as it dropped, I logged in and had maybe
the issue came in where, like, so me and Christian game share. He's primary to my PlayStation 4. I could download the game on pre-launch. I couldn't play the game unless I logged into his account on my PlayStation, loaded his character up, then couch co-opted with my character. In other words, joined in on second controller and then dropped him out of the game. Then it would allow me to play during pre-release. So that was the hiccup. But I mean, minor hiccup. I didn't buy the game myself. I borrowed it from him essentially.
Yeah, I got you. But like I said, I can say on PC they had some lag issues, mainly the entire early access period because we had the early access. We were lucky enough that one of my friends in California is a very good friend with one of the marketing and graphical teams at Blizzard. So we got the ultimate keys from him, and we got early access for it. Okay,
nice.
And we started early access. Early access was flawless, but the first days of early access, PS5 had the problems where it wouldn't authenticate the code, the key code.
Oh,
I
remember reading about that.
I do remember reading it.
It wasn't spread wide, but I did.
Yeah, no, and I think they rectified it fairly quickly, from what I understand. Now, when the game went live on the 5th or on the 6th, whatever you want to call it, I know lag became an issue as everything just spilled over, unlike anything anybody has thought they would. I always say I think a lot of times these game developers are more surprised by the number of people logging in than they thought. Because I read somewhere that their sales, not purchases, but their sales within the last 12 hours going up to launch was exponential. And I think that pushed them over the edge for servers and stuff like that, because that's not something they can just snap their fingers and add 100 servers. It just doesn't work that way. But all in all,
I think I logged on.
Go ahead.
I think I logged on one night and it told me like 581 minutes in queue. I was like, "Yep, nope." I went to bed. I'm like,
exactly, yeah.
But it only lasted that one night.
Mm-hmm.
I've only had
they
2
seem
issues.
to have gotten it sorted now. I haven't had any queuing issues or things like that. I mean,
I
it
had
seems like
I
they've
had
sorted
one
it
issue.
well.
I had one issue with I was in the middle of the game playing, kicked me out, then did not display my characters, and then told they had a little prompt, which is really nice of them to show how quickly they are working on it. Prompt in the corner going, "Hey, we have login issues," but my fucking chaos in my head going, "My character's not there. My character's not there."
That to me.
Yeah.
I was so pissed.
But like I said, their communication has been pretty good too. So I'm always very pleased when the game team actually communicates with the player base and stuff like that. I think that's a big boon because I've played a lot of games. I mean, you don't hear from the dev team. You know, there's no acknowledgement that there's a problem. There's no acknowledgement that they're even recognizing the problem. You know, so that is a plus. Like I said, all in all, I felt like the launch was. Like I said, I ain't gonna give them an A plus because it was not an A plus, but I'd probably go A minus, B plus on the.
It was decent.
A lot better than many games that have come out here recently. That's for damn sure.
Right. Definitely.
No, I thought the performance and all that stuff was has been really good. I haven't had any issues with lag. I haven't had any issues with being in the queue. I got it I guess it wasn't early access, but it was the early launch. It wasn't a midnight launch. They launched it at 6 o'clock the day before.
Correct.
I didn't have any issues with it whatsoever. So I think performance wise, server wise, I think all that shit's great.
Dan and his horse Glitch.
Glitch. That's my horse's name.
Glitch. Dude, he gets on his horse.
As soon as I load onto the horse won't. He'll trample in place, but he won't move. And then eventually it'll let me go. So I can't do like y'all where I'm in the middle of a crowd, just jump on my horse and run through it. No. I'm gonna get knocked off. I'm gonna get screwed
fucking hilarious.
because of Glitch.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Horse named Glitch.
It's terrible, but that's awesome.
Have you got off?
But look, I'm playing on PS4, so.
It is funny to for me and Christian to go into a dungeon and we've already loaded it and Dan's like, I'm still loading.
Yeah, PS4 woes. I'm still old gen.
Have you got off your horse and you're still in a seated position trying to fight stuff?
No.
Oh yeah, I've been trying to, like, I'm still riding the horse, but there's no horse. And I just kind of ride around the screen.
Floating in there.
Yes.
I can't cast anything, so I'm just trying to run away from things on my imaginary horse.
Brian, my man.
Brian, that's what I was talking about, bro. He keeps riding that horse, huh?
As far as the other stuff, the graphics, the audio work, all that, I think all that's fantastic. To be honest with you,
my man, graphics are amazing, and performance. I stay locked on at 2K because I'm playing at 1440p, 2K, whatever you want to call it, and mine stays locked at 144 hertz without issue. The game
audio is fantastic too. Oh,
absolutely amazing. It sounds amazing. I couldn't ask for anything else there. I really couldn't.
And those
you run into different sections and you just hear the eerie music. It's just it's perfect.
Yeah.
I think one of them, what was it, Dan, that we went to and it sounded what did I tell you it sounded like? Fuck. When we went to do the tree stuff. You remember
where the snake was?
No, the when we did the time-based tree stuff. You know, you did that dungeon.
Oh, yeah.
I can't forget what I fucking told. I said it sounded so familiar. Like it was like something stupidly funny.
Yeah, I know the original soundtrack when you're in the you first start the game, that's actually a throwback to the soundtrack, I think, from the original Diablo, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. I played the original Diablo and it was fantastic.
You know, so that was once again another little synergy piece that they put in that was just awesome, you know.
Yeah. Now the composer on this one, he's not a well-known composer. The guy he's been like a composer assistant on a lot of different games and a lot of different like small-time movies and some TV series. Not a whole lot, but he's fairly new to the video game composing as far as being a lead composer. So he did a good job. I mean, that
Absolutely.
guy's probably going to
Absolutely.
get quite a bit of recognition.
Absolutely. Like I said, I think the music was on point as well. Greg said graphics amazing. One thing Blizzard has always done great is their cutscenes are just off the chain. Okay.
Yes.
Now I'm still gonna tell you, Act 6 cutscene, best I've ever seen.
All right, man.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah.
I'll
I
take
ain't
your word
telling you
for it.
no more than that, okay? But it's the best I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And I mean, Lilith is hot, so.
So now that you have kind of said, now that we've kind of talked about the entire game, y'all are mentioning, you couldn't ask for anything more, best cutscenes, shit like that, right? And I kind of proposed the same question when we did Hogwarts Legacy. Is this game of the year, or could this be game of the year? Now, keep in mind, we still have Spider-Man. We still have Final Fantasy 16 coming out next week. Where does this fall at the end of the year for you? Do you think, like, prediction-wise?
For me, it's going to be my top game for the year. For the average consumer, it's not going to be. Mm-hmm. It's going to fall short, probably to two things. Well, I mean, Spider-Man's going to have a pretty good draw of crowd, but Final Fantasy will probably beat it out for sure. It'll definitely be in the top 5 for sure for most people.
Say it's in the top 5 for sure.
But for me, it's going to be the top game.
I think a lot of people, Dan, are going to have a problem too, whereas you and I won't, because we've done this before. They're going to finish the campaign, and they may get to World Tier 3, and it's going to be like,
that's it.
Okay, I'm done.
Yep.
Right. And a lot of people won't replay that. They're not going to go level up an alt. So they're not going to go make the push to get to 100 and do the same thing and here, I won't make it without help, for the little person laying on the ground.
They're not going
to,
Yeah, they're not going to enjoy the grind.
Exactly. That's going to push a lot of people off, I think, right there. I'm like you. Right now, this is the top of the top for me for right now for the year. And I don't see a lot coming out that personally I'm looking at that has a chance of knocking it off. Okay. But I'm like you, I don't see that for everybody else because a lot of that population there now is going to hit that pinnacle 50, 55, maybe 60, and that's going to be it. They're going to be done.
Yeah. I'll still be playing at Christmas. Most people won't.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
I mean, Diablo is the game where the end game is the start of the game.
It's true.
And I think that's the one complaint that I have is I think you've got to have something in game in at launch. And I'm sorry, a level to 100 is not in game. Okay, doing the same thing. You got to have something a little more than that. And I wish they'd have had a little bit of something a little more. Now, Uber Lilith supposedly is supposed to be an unbelievable fight.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Like a couple nights ago, I finally read that she was finally beaten. Okay, and that was just like what was that, Brace? 2-3 nights ago, I read that finally. 2 nights ago that she had finally been beaten for the first time. Okay, so that's a hell of a fight. Okay, right. So I'm definitely looking forward to that.
Yeah, like I said, for the average player, it'll be in top 5, but it won't be their game of the year. I don't think.
I mean, I could see a little people saying, y'all saying a bunch of people dropping, but when you make a new character, you can skip the campaign. You don't have to do the campaign.
Right.
Which is awesome. Which is a great feature.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a feature you didn't have before.
Because I hated grinding through each, like when we played D3, when I repicked it up with Dan, I started level 1 and I had to let him pretty much carry me through every act. And it was just to get to where he was to help or even do something. It's horrible. And
they don't have that in this.
And all the stuff that you have. So all your side quests you unlock carries to your other character. So all the skill points you get, all the potions you get,
the map doesn't unlock. That's the one thing.
Yeah, that aggravates the crap out of me.
Come on, man. Leave my map up there.
Right. But yeah, other than that, I mean, it's going to knock a lot of people off. But some of those people that actually go do other builds, like I'll guarantee you, some of these people who mainline barbs, mainline sorks, mainline all those, they're going to go to a rogue. They're going to go something else because somebody's going to get nerfed or somebody's going to get fucking bamped up. And it's going to be the next fucking meta.
Yep.
And you don't have to do all that shit. It's going to happen. It happens every time because it can't balance it. You know, I don't know how they don't balance everything.
That's why I said top 3 to top 5 for most people, but
Right.
not game of the year for most.
What about you, Christian?
I'm gonna go top 5 because
Tears of the Kingdom, man.
Tears of the Kingdom, Spider-Man. I mean, Spider-Man looks so freaking good, and then Final Fantasy. God, that looks so good too. But then you got Final Fantasy Rebirth coming. Final Fantasy
next
7
year.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, that's next year.
That's gonna be mine next year, bro. I cannot wait for that.
So I haven't played a ton of new games this year. I played Fire Emblem, which is not going to be in the top 5. I would guess. But Diablo, put that up there. Final Fantasy. I mean, this is a strong year, a very, very strong year for games. I mean, you got Diablo. I mean, like last year, Elden Ring and Horizon were my 2. And it was pretty clear cut what number 1 was. Like it was like, as much as I love Horizon, it didn't come close to Elden Ring, right? So this year, I mean, like you said,
but then you also
Diablo
had
4,
Jedi. You had Jedi Survivor, not Survivor.
Yeah, forgot about that one.
Fallen Order. That one was good too.
Final Fantasy, Tears of the Kingdom. Tears of the Kingdom is, I mean, better than Breath of the Wild, and Breath of the Wild was number 1 the year that it came out. So lots and lots of games, good games, are coming out this year, and it's going to be tough. And as an amazing game as Diablo is, I'm very curious, like as I get further into it and get towards that end game, will I be one of those Joe Schmoes that says, "Yeah, I'm good, man. I got my feel of it. I'm ready to dip out," or am I going to go towards the end game? Because I played Neo 2, which is very similar with the Diablo looting and the gear and whatnot, and basically the same game. That shit doesn't start until the end game. And when I beat Neo 2, up until that point, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do the end game and I'm gonna min-max my character and shit like that. But once I beat it, I was like, yeah, I'm good, man. I'm good. Like, I'm tired of getting my ass beat every fucking day.
No, you're
I'm
not.
ready to go
Don't
play
lie to me.
something different.
Don't lie to me.
It's a
You played
different
Elden Ring.
mindset to grind, dude. It really does. Grinding is a whole different mindset.
Neo 2 is probably the hardest game I ever played. Finished. Sekiro is the hardest.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I can't beat Sekiro. I don't know what it is. I can't beat it. But yeah,
The kid would tell you it's a skill issue. I'm just saying.
No, it's a mat issue. That's what it is.
It's 100% a skill issue. Because in the other Souls games, I can beat the shit out of those guys. I know those games very, very well. But Sekiro is just a whole nother.
Oh yeah, dude. I've read about the difficulty level of that game. That's pretty. Yeah. So.
But yeah, definitely, I foresee it being in top 5. It would be interesting to see if it reaches number 1 when it's all said and done. But before we click over to the weekly recommendations, I have some goodies I need to show. Okay, this came with the pre-orders.
Okay.
I pre-ordered the physical edition, so it came with a steel book.
Very nice.
This is what got everybody pregnant. This and the poster I'm about to show you.
Okay, that is.
This was also.
Yeah, that is pretty neat.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's fucking hot.
And then when I
was that an Arius?
Do what?
Is that an Arius on the poster?
I don't think he knows who an artist is.
yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
probably
the angel.
Old
probably-
Night
Is
Bro?
it-
Old Night Angel
is it the
Bro?
Oh,
angel?
Night Angel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Night Angel.
Okay. He's the father. He's the father of the first Nephilim. He
And
is.
now I am never
Lilith.
calling him anything different.
He's
Lilith's
Lilith's
baby daddy.
lover.
That's because Lilith got them cheeks, boy.
Lila's baby daddy.
He's probably the sexiest demon I've seen so far.
They made Whoopi too.
I would second that.
Oh, I know they did.
So when I went in to get the game early, I had to pre-order it, and that's when I got my pre-orders. When I went back after 6 to get the game, I was the apparently the first person to pick up their copy at that time. So dude was like,
Awesome.
"Hey, do you want this promotional poster?" I was like, "Does a bear shit in the woods? Of course I do."
Absolutely.
Nice.
That's
Oh
hot.
yeah,
That's hot.
that is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You gotta get that one framed. Room
It's a good thing I know where you live.
That's my bitch right there.
Yes, that's going on the ceiling.
Well, dude, I can see Tina waking up and just fucking scream.
Dude,
Scared the
she's
shit
like,
out of her.
I brought that shit outside from GameStop, and she goes, "What the fuck is that?" I was like, "Oh, bro, I got all kinds of fucking goodies.
This is
And
my
she goes,
new hoe.
She's like, "I don't want that demonic crap in my house." And I'm like, "Sucks to suck."
So if it make you feel better, we kill all of the demons. It's good. It's good.
Exactly,
It's
exactly.
It's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine.
I'm just doing the Lord's work, man. That's all I'm doing.
fine.
Even the sexy one. We're sad about it, but it happens.
But also, before we jump into the weekly recommendations, if you are an audio listener and you want to watch the video version of this podcast, click the link below, and that'll send you to our YouTube channel. Make sure you like, subscribe, do all that bullshit. Make sure you get the notifications there as well. And vice versa. If you are watching us, you can click the link below, and it'll send you to Spotify, or you can just go listen to us on your favorite podcast listening app. Next week, 3 years there, Christian.
It's been a long road, sir.
It's been a long run. 3-year
Is that how long
anniversary.
y'all been a 2-man circle jerk?
No, that's been longer than that.
Man, we're gonna do this on Zoom and everybody can watch.
So yeah, we're gonna be hitting the 3-year anniversary on the 21st.
Congratulations,
Jesus.
guys.
Yeah, I'm very
I
surprised.
mean, look how far we've come. We've got all of y'all. We got Patreon. We got international. I mean, shit. I don't know fuck else. I mean, besides Comic Cons, I don't know what else we could do.
I've already told y'all about that.
And we got Dan for that.
Matt.
dude, we're gonna take it over, man. Hey, I'm trying to get more supporters so we can take over fucking San Diego.
We all can go to San Diego. I'm cool with that.
Have you ever tried to buy tickets to San Diego Comic-Con?
I'm just saying.
It's a bitch because you have to. There's only 2 ways you can buy it. There's only 2 times that you can buy it.
Huh?
One is if you bought it the year before, you get access, and then you only have 1 chance to get it for newbies. So it's very hard, but I try my best.
Sure, I bet you can do some something for somebody.
Hey, 20. I'm just saying, I'm willing to compromise my morals and beliefs.
Love it.
Trust me, it wouldn't be the shadiest thing I've ever done.
Fair.
But yeah, guys, 3 years. We're gonna be moving to the studio. I got this new chair, my first gaming chair for sure. I got it early for Father's Day. Fucking love it. It's dope. And then I had Brian over here. I was texting him earlier, getting the new gaming desk set up. Got some LED lights and shit on there. That's gonna look dope. Got the display shelf. Gonna get the action, everything. It's coming in the next month or so with the relaunch of the podcast. I'm super fucking excited for that. That's when it's gonna be a make or break for us. So who knows? But yeah, all that coming in the next several weeks. But let's jump into our weekly recommendation. First off, I'm gonna take. There's 2 recommendations. Okay, one's gonna be mine, but we're starting a new thing where every week a different Patreon supporter is going to recommend a game, movie, show, whatever the fuck. Okay, it's gonna be a random Patreon supporter. Just to bring in more. What's the word I'm looking for? Just to let the Patreon supporters have more say so on the podcast and shit like that, right? So Carmen Edmonds is the Patreon supporter of this year or this week that we are going to have a weekly recommendation for. And I chose her specifically. Now she's not the only one, but she has been A1 since day one with the podcast. She was our first supporter. She is part of the $30 tier. So shout out to you, Carmen, for being there through thick and thin.
How's her last name go?
Oh, I said Edmonds, didn't I? Did I say Edmonds?
Sure the fuck did.
You did.
She's gonna hit you.
Then now
My
we get to
bad.
test his editing skills.
Tell her we'll be done. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not saying I'm just gonna, the
For what?
psycho. That's what we're going with.
There you go.
She's psycho. But she recommends Borderlands 3.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Very
And
good.
Vinny,
Very
her and
good.
Vinny have been playing through that here recently. Mine is going to be the Black Pumas. I talked about it earlier. The indie rock band, pretty good album. It's the self-titled. Go check out the song Colors. And I forget the other. If you look at the album, it's the first 2 songs. Check out both those songs. And if you don't like those 2 songs, then it's not for you. But they're fucking good, really good. But Dan, what you recommend to these fine people?
Game wise, I mean, I haven't been playing much beyond Diablo and Hogwarts Legacy, so meh, whatever. We're gonna not recommend anything there. But music wise, I'm liking the new Bad Omens stuff. Like that's pretty good. I like it.
Ooh, you talking about the Death of Peace of Mind?
Yes.
That's a good album, sir. It's a good album.
Yes.
Oh, Costas?
What you want to do? Oh, you want me to do it?
Mhm. You watch more TV than I do. I mean, I'm gonna finish the Rick and Morty season and probably watch some more Doctor Who and Futurama. I mean, that's my watching experience.
Brian is a creature of habit.
There's
Hey, I
nothing wrong
respect
with
it.
those. There's nothing wrong with those
He
shows.
finds something and he sticks with it. But
It's kind of like
Yeah,
me and Sword Art Online. I just go back to it.
let's see. What am I going to recommend? Oh, you know what I'm going to recommend? I'm going to recommend because we made the kids sit down and watch it, and we have to finish it. But I'm going to recommend that you sit down and rewatch if you've already watched it. But rewatch The Shining, Stanley Kubrick's The Shining, and then follow it up with Doctor Sleep.
Are you saying that because I have been a critic of that movie before?
Which movie? Which one? Both?
The Shining.
No, I don't particularly. It's not my favorite version of The Shining. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
it's not because it doesn't follow the book at all. But
I think the last 20, 30 minutes of that movie, fucking spot on. Like good. The first hour and a half of that movie, or first hour, god damn, it should be called Asleep. Is what it should be called.
But it's supposed to be monotonous. It's supposed to give you that sense of building dread because they're alone.
I'm dreading watching
isolated,
it.
and it's
Yeah.
and like Brayson said, he gets crazier and crazier and crazier. But
I work and no play.
I recommend watching The Shining and then following it up with Doctor Sleep because they really did very well with Doctor Sleep. And I'm a huge Stephen King fan. So, and then I also will recommend TV wise, if you haven't, because the new season of Bad Omens, season 2 is coming out on Amazon Prime. Watch Bad Omens. It's fucking hilarious. It's David Tennant and he plays Crowley, and it's an angel and a demon trying to stop.
Oh yeah.
I've seen
And
that.
I think it's
pretty.
kind of crazy that we have
hilarious.
2 different recommendations of Bad Omens, and it's 2 different properties.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Indeed.
But I just saw the preview for the new season, so I'm pretty stoked about that.
Awesome.
That's
We'll write
my
these down.
watchy recommendations.
What about you, Christian?
I'm going to recommend a manga. It's called The World After the Fall. And it is literally the human race becomes a participant in a world in a universal game. They get kind of like SAO, they get into a tower and they have to survive life or death. And with no spoilers, the whole world pretty much, has to participate and get to the 100th floor to save their world. Essentially, it's the graphics and the drawings are just dark, gritty, and bloody, and the writing and the story is so good. Perfect. It reminds me a lot of Demon Slayer, but darker. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
What was the name of this one more time?
The World After the Fall. I have it. I'll let you borrow it, sir.
You got me with SAO and Demon Slayer, dude. Like
It's
hook, line, and
gory,
sinker.
sir. It's gory, sir.
Hook, line, and sinker, man. I'm a wreck.
Oh, Matt, something I forgot to bring up earlier when we were talking about Diablo 4.
What's up?
Look up the voice actors versus their characters.
The only one that I know is Ralph Ineson is the stable guy, I think.
So most of the voice actors, like the top 6, 8, 9 voice actors, the game character is modeled after their voice actor. Like if you look at the voice actor and look at the character in the game, the character in the game was modeled to the voice actor.
Oh.
Which is not very normal for games.
Do you know who Ralph Ineson is?
I don't think so.
Have you ever seen the movie The Witch?
No.
You probably haven't seen Green Knight then. If you've ever seen The Witch, he is the father in The Witch, and that dude has like the manliest voice ever, and he's got an accent to go along with it. And yeah, whenever I hear that dude, I'm like, that's my man right there, man. That dude's right there. He's got a good voice. Okay, I'm just gonna leave it at that.
Right.
All right. But he's a stable guy, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
But that's a nice little.
Yeah,
tidbit,
I mean,
I didn't know they were modeled after him.
Yeah. So like the main chick at the end, Prava or Preya, I forgot what her name is. I think it's Prava. She looks like her actual voice actor.
Is that the sister?
That is the priestess.
Yeah, the one you do the quest line with. She gets
yes.
She gets possessed.
The bald black lady. Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That was a good quest line. I actually enjoyed that quest line, by the way.
Yeah, she's rendered off of her own person.
Oh. Yeah, a lot of the characters are rendered from the actual person. I think
cool.
Lorat's like the only one who isn't really that, and Lilith. I mean, you can't really. I guess if you strip away the makeup, it looks this similar. But
I would willing to try that.
That's not the only thing I'm willing to strip away.
But yeah, a lot of the voice actors are modeled after real life. Their real life. I mean, a lot of the characters in the game are modeled from their real life voice actor.
Now that is a fun fact for y'all. Well, guys, that is going to. Yeah, the more you know. Guys, that is going to be it from us. Dan, Brian, Kori, Christian, I appreciate y'all joining me. I told y'all we were going to be on here for a fucking long time. I wasn't expecting 2 hours, but here we are. It's always a great time. I appreciate y'all joining us. Like I said, guys, thank you for the support. Thank you for listening or watching us. Thank you for all the support. And we will catch y'all next week on another episode. Laters.
Later.
Bye.
Later.